Get ready for the secret to writing sales copy so good, people won't be able to ignore it. I'm Nathan Frazier, and as an internet marketer, I can tell you one thing that I've learned about people, and that's that they love to ignore advertisements. But you know what people can't ignore? A good story. Going back to our earliest days, stories are how we passed information on from one generation to the next. It's how we were able to experience danger and learn the lessons from that danger without actually having to be in danger. Evolutionarily speaking, those who could pay attention to stories were the ones that were able to pass their genes on to the next generation. In a very real way, our brains are wired for stories. And for a marketer like me, the great thing about stories is where sales pitches cause people to put up their defenses, stories cause people to lower their defenses and let you take control and lead them to where you want them to go. Probably the most popular story structure of all time is the hero's journey as laid out by Joseph Campbell. And one of the best adaptations of the hero's journey is the original Star Wars trilogy, which also happens to be one of the most well-known franchises of all time. And of course, that's probably because it's based off of the hero's journey. And today, I want to show you how to use that same formula that people can't ignore to keep people glued to your sales messages. So we're not going to hit every single beat of the hero's journey. We're just going to take the ones that make sense applied to a sales message and go in order of operation. We're going to look at it in how it applied to Star Wars, and then we're going to compare it to how it applies to a sales message. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Starting with step number 1, the call to action. So the call to action is when the hero realizes they want something better than what they already have. And let's be clear, the hero of your sales message is the reader, is the viewer, is your target market. As cool as you think you are, as cool as you think your solution is, you are not the hero in this hero's journey. Your reader, your target market, your prospect, they're the hero in this hero's journey. And they're the ones who just realize they want something better. They've got a desired outcome that they want to attain, something that's better, more grand than the life that they're currently leading. So for Luke Skywalker, he wanted an adventure. He was tired of being a farm boy on a boring, dusty planet living with his boring aunt and uncle. He looked up into the sky, he saw the stars, and he wanted to be out there. He wanted a grand adventure. That was his call to adventure. For your prospect, it might not be something so grand. It might be something as simple as, I want to get back in shape. I want to have those rock hard, sexy abs that I had when I was playing college football. But, and this is a big but, which leads into step number 2, the refusal of the call. And the refusal of the call is basically, this isn't for me. It's those self-doubts that your prospect has going on in their head. In Star Wars, it was Luke saying to Obi-Wan Kenobi, I have obligations. I'd love to go on this adventure, but I've got obligations. I have to get back to the farm and help my aunt and my uncle tend to the farm. For your prospect looking for that sexy body that they had back when they were in college, it might be, this isn't for me because I've got too much going on. I've got a career, I've got kids, I've got soccer practice, I've got a wife at home that I need to take care of. Yes, I'd love to have those sexy rock hard abs again, but at this point in my life, it's just not for me. That's the refusal of the call. That's the self-limiting beliefs that have prevented your prospect from taking action so far. Which brings us to step number 3, which is a reason to believe that they can actually accomplish it. And step number 3 is what we call the supernatural aid. And this is where you and your product do come into the story. You see, your prospect is Luke Skywalker. Your prospect is the hero of this story. And they go home to tend to the farm and they find that their aunt and their uncle have been blown to smithereens. The farm is all burned up. And now they go back to Obi-Wan Kenobi and they say, okay, I'm ready for this call to action, but I need a supernatural aid. I can't just do it by myself. And so that's when Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's you, the business owner or the marketer that's presenting this new supernatural aid, this new technology that can actually help them acquire their desired action, aka the lightsaber. So at this point in your sales message, you introduce yourself as someone who's already gone down the path that they're looking to go down. You're just like them. You were dealing with the same stuff that they were dealing with, but you found this lightsaber. You found the force. You found a way to attain the things that they're looking to attain. You were just like them. You were struggling. You found a way to get through, and now you're there to guide them to where they want to be. In other words, I'm someone just like you, and I figured out how to get that thing that you want to get, aka those sexy rock hard abs that you had back in college. So that brings us to step number 4, the road of trials. And we've given them a glimpse at a bright future. We've shown them the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's not going to be smooth sailing to get there. Otherwise, that'd be a very boring story, and nobody tunes in for a boring story. There's got to be climaxes, and there's got to be deep dips and dives, and there's got to be all kinds of rocky terrain to navigate through to get to the end of the story. That's what makes a story exciting, and we need to do that in our sales message. So in Star Wars, the hero embarks on the journey and he comes across 3 major trials. In order to master the Force and become a true Jedi Knight, first of all, he has to destroy the Death Star. And that first step he's able to accomplish with relative ease, but then comes the next step. The next step is where Luke Skywalker goes to train with Yoda, and he struggles. He doesn't believe in himself. He's not able to get the X-Wing out of the swamp. He goes through the cave and he has to deal with his inner demons, and he's not able to overcome his inner demons. And that next step on the road of trials is kind of a pain for him. And then, of course, he has to fight Darth Vader. He has to battle his biggest nemesis, the enemy that he doesn't think he can conquer, that he doesn't believe that he can actually defeat. And at this part in your sales message is when you really rub salt in those wounds. You address the pains that they're dealing with. You apply pressure to the pain points that they're feeling. You paint a picture of how bad things can get if they don't accomplish their goal, if they don't overcome what's holding them back. This is the point where you say, work is hard, you come home tired, you just want to relax, but then you just keep getting fatter. And if something doesn't change, your wife is going to start cheating on you with the pool boy. She's going to leave you. She's going to take the kids. She's going to take half of everything you own. You're going to die lonely of a heart attack at the ripe young age of 35. These are the trials your prospect has to overcome in order for this story to have meaning to them. And that brings us to step number 5, the atonement of the father. Just when things are looking their darkest, the hero finds the power to overcome. Luke overcomes his own hatred for Darth Vader and offers his father a path to redemption. This is where you overcome those previous objections by showing the path of light to your readers. You offer them a chance to become the hero that they really want to be. You tell them, if you can make it down to the gym just twice a week, we'll provide a trainer to help keep you motivated and on track. You'll get that sexy six-pack you're looking for. Your wife will only have eyes for you. You'll live to the ripe old age of 95, and you'll be strong as an ox till your very last day. And that leads us to step number 6, Apotheosis. This is where they become the hero they were meant to be. By redeeming his father, Luke becomes the true Jedi Knight he was always destined to be. By taking you up on your offer, your reader has the chance to fulfill their heart's desire. You hit them with a message like, look, it's up to you. Do you really want those flabby abs that you've been carrying around with you the last 8 years? Or do you want to go back to being the God amongst men you were born to be? And that's where you hit them with the first call to action. Pick up the phone and call now. Click here to order yours, whatever the case may be. Because at this point, a lot of people are already ready to buy. But for those that are still on the fence, we move into step number 7, which is the ultimate boon. And this is the point where the hero gets all that he wanted. Why's the hero gotta be a he, you sexist, misogynist bastard? Death to the patriarchy! I joke, I kid. Anyways, the ultimate boon in Star Wars was when Luke finally defeats the Emperor, redeems his father, saves his family and friends, and becomes the Jedi Knight he always wanted to be. Luke is now a master of the Force, and he has all the things he wanted at the beginning of his journey. And the way you duplicate this in a sales message is by using something I call a value stack. A value stack is when you remind them of everything they're going to get when they buy. And this includes not only the actual deliverables, but all the benefits and transformations in their life that they'll enjoy as a result. Oh, and if you have any bonus items, make sure to re-emphasize and stack in those bonus items here as well. Basically, you want to paint a vivid picture of all the amazing shit they're going to get as soon as they click that buy now button. Paint a picture of the ultimate boon and make it real for them. And then, of course, this is a great place to add your second call to action. Buy now, pick up the phone and call now, click here to order yours, etc. For those who still haven't had enough convincing, we move on to step number 8, which is the master of two worlds. And the two worlds are the outer and the inner world. For Luke, this is where he overcame his self-limiting beliefs. He used the Force and his lightsaber to become not only a Jedi, but also a man. Smash the patriarchy! Okay, back to business. At this point in your sales letter, your prospects should be at the point where they believe in themselves, they believe they can attain their desire, and they believe that you can help them get there. Remind them of why they can do it, remind them of how you can help, and then prompt them to take action. And this would be a great place for a third call to action. Which leads us to step 9, freedom to live. This is the part of the story where the hero has overcome their fear and taken the steps necessary to live the life they want to live. Now it's possible for them to live their best life. In Star Wars, this is where Luke accepts the Medal of Honor. He lives into the role of being the hero, and he's no longer shackled by the fear and insecurity that plagued him at the beginning of his journey. For your sales message, this is where you add a postscript, a PS, and a final call to action. This is where you paint a picture of your reader's new way of living once they've purchased your solution. This is where you remind them how great life is going to be once they're a Jedi Master. This is where you remind them of all the cool stuff they'll get, the amazing transformation they'll have, and all the cool things they'll be able to do once they're on the other side of that transformation. This is where you give them one last chance to pick up that lightsaber and let you show them how to be the Jedi Master they were destined to become. And there you have it, the Star Wars sales copy template people can't ignore. Step number 1, the call to adventure. Step number 2, refusal of the call. Step number 3, supernatural aid. Step number 4, the road of trials. Step number 5, atonement of the Father. Step number 6, apotheosis. Step number 7, the ultimate boon. Step number 8, the master of two worlds. And step number 9, freedom to live. Okay, that was a fire hose of information, and you might want to go back and rewatch or re-listen to this episode from the beginning. As my final call to action before we're out of here, I do want to remind you I have a private community. If you enjoyed this content, you might be a good fit for it. It's called the FMS Mastermind, First Master Self Mastermind, and you can find that over at fmsmastermind.com. So head on over there, check it out, and see if you're a good fit. My name's Nathan Frazier. I'm an emotional manipulator for hire, and I'm out of here. Deuces. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're subscribed so you always catch the content we create for you in the future.